There's a dis-ease that comes from living beneath your divine inheritance. Revolutions start with the woman who decides, I will no longer abandon myself for the sake of survival. It's about reclaiming your influence over your reality. What surrounds you shapes what you believe, and what you believe is the very foundation that your life is built on. There's a dis-ease that comes from living beneath your divine inheritance, a dis-ease that settles deep within your bones, one that whispers in the corners of your mind that there is more to life than this. And there is. There's more clarity, more beauty, more sovereignty, more joy, more power, more you. But here's the truth. We don't achieve this ideal of more through more hustle or perfection. We achieve it by remembering, from reclaiming the divine power within each of us that was never lost, only forgotten. I'm Cheyenne, the visionary and liberation strategist behind Unveiling Ann, and I'm here to help you rewire your subconscious, reclaim your power, and build a world that reflects what we believe we deserve. And while I do understand as a Black woman just how disheartening and discouraging it can be to acknowledge just how much work we have left to do as a people and how many systems are in place that were designed to siphon our energy and to keep us at a position of disadvantage, I do want to remind you that systems don't build themselves. Systems are sustained by people, and so is liberation. It's important to understand that revolution does not start in any courtroom or on any ballot. It starts within. Revolutions start with the woman who decides, I will no longer abandon myself for the sake of survival. Or the woman who says, I'll choose to see myself as divine and I will demand to be treated accordingly. What I'm discussing is more than just a mindset shift. It's about reclaiming your influence over your reality. It's about understanding that what surrounds you shapes what you believe. And what you believe is the very foundation that your life is built on. And while what I'm saying can feel very encouraging and empowering, I think it's very important to support it with verifiable information. And psychology confirms that when we suppress truth, it is stored in the body as trauma. And repression becomes stagnation. And stagnation becomes dis-ease within the body. And when you speak truth, and name what's real, you literally rewire your brain. And the truth that I'm referring to in this moment is that each of us carry a divine spark of life within us that gives us the ability to influence our reality and shape it. Many of us have heard at one point or another that there is the power of life and death in our tongue. And when we speak, it activates the prefrontal cortex, the seat of regulation, clarity, and growth. In many African spiritual systems, the voice is considered sacred technology. To speak is to invoke. To name is to command reality. It is understood that your voice is more than just noise. It is a portal. And when you speak what previously felt unspeakable or impossible, you break your own chains and call others forward with the same breath. And as I've stated previously, many of us grew up hearing the idea that there is power of life and death in our tongue. So that revelation in and of itself isn't groundbreaking or new. But I think what we don't always connect consciously is that we speak based on what we believe, and what we believe shows up in our behavior. And 95% of our behavior is subconscious. And the subconscious is not formed by logic. The subconscious is developed and shaped through imagery, repetition, and patterns. That's why what I call visual alchemy is critical. Your environment is either reinforcing your healing or delaying it. The images that you see in your life, they are not neutral. And many top thinkers understand this. They understand that what you see informs how you behave, what you support, and what you give your energy to. And I would like to challenge you to ask yourself, what imagery am I surrounded by? What am I looking at in terms of entertainment, in terms of social media? What is on the walls at my job? What am I seeing when I go to and from work? And what messages are they feeding into my subconscious? Does the imagery that you see empower you or build you up? Or does it reinforce an idea of your disempowerment or erasure? I want you to understand that every time you see yourself or someone who represents your likeness in positions of power, abundance, softness, joy, your subconscious is receiving that as divine instruction. Visual alchemy, in the way that I implement it, is not just about aesthetics alone. It's about building your reality to reflect your divinity back to you daily. And I'm going to continue this theme of presenting verifiable information to support my claim, because I do believe that it is critical to this next level of growth in our community to understand that we have the responsibility and power in making it happen. And we can't do that from a place of feeling like there's nothing we can do, or that we're a victim to our circumstances, or that we're waiting on something outside of us to bring a sense of justice or change. And in quantum physics, there's this theory called the observer effect. It simply states that what you observe, you affect. It's the belief that the act of observation changes the outcome. And at this point, you may be asking, what in the world does that have to do with me? And what it means for you is that you're not just a participant in your reality. You are the force shaping it. Your gaze has power, and your attention shapes the future. And no, this isn't just spiritual fantasy. This is energy science, psychological reality, and spiritual law agreeing. You don't just have access to power, you are the power. And embodying this revelation is how revolutions actually begin. Not through slogans, not through shame, but in silent moments of deciding that you will no longer participate. When you reclaim your voice, vision, and vibration, you change the quantum field. And no, it's not about doing it all. It's not about solving every piece of the puzzle. You just have to maximize your part within the greater scheme. Your voice, your gifts, your discipline, your art, your story. Every woman walking this path will go through this liberation arc. It starts with a revelation, a knowing that something is off and that there needs to be a shift. Then you go through a healing phase where you heal the wounds and release the weight of what you previously carried. And then you go through the reconstruction phase. And in this phase, you choose new truths, new images, and new ways of aligning yourself with your reality. After that, you move into actualization. You live by these new values, you speak them, you embody them. And then you have another revelation, and the spiral continues and the mission deepens. The path to liberation is not linear, but it's sacred, and it's yours. So if this resonated with you, then you are likely already on your path and in some phase of the liberation arc. And I just want to encourage you not to let the noise pull you back into a state of numbness. And don't allow the systems to make you forget your role in shaping a new world. Speak, see, believe, create. That's it. That's the work. That's the revolution. And it starts right here, right now with you. One day, one action, one belief at a time. And this is just one of 6 revelations that I present in my free PDF, Break the Spell, The Codes of Liberation. If you haven't already grabbed that, it is available on my website. I will leave the link below in the description. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel and share with another Black woman who is ready to do the work. We are truly building something revolutionary here, and you are not going to want to miss what I have planned for this community. And I definitely don't want to miss having you here. With that being said, I pray that you are blessed in everything that you do, that you are kept in perfect peace and health, and that everything your hands touch prosper. Until next time.